everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at another knockoff toy. This time it is DaiRuggerXV or DaiRugger15. Now you may know him in the States as Vehicle Voltron. And I think what's pretty cool is usually with knockoff toys they have some ridiculous name. But DaiRugger15 is the Japanese show that was adapted and made into Vehicle Voltron here in the States. So they actually got the name right this time, which I think is pretty cool. I also really love the card artwork. Obviously, you have DaiRugger very prominent up here at the top, but then you have a bunch of random Transformers. You have Siren, you have Star Saber, you have Nightbeat / Minerva here in the back. I think these guys are Turbo Masters from that last series that only came out in Europe. I'm not sure about that, but that's what they look like to me. So I love this crazy artwork. I think this is super fun. As you can see, I got it for $5.99. I found it a Tuesday morning. They have various knockoffs like this from time to time. Previously, I took a look at a Jetman mecha and also something from the Brave series, that train robot, which was actually pretty cool. So I don't know. I like to get these from time to time. I think they can be a lot of fun. I have no idea how much this guy will actually be able to transform, but from the packaging, it does show that it can separate into all the little components. I don't know if that's actually true. Because a lot of times the packaging can be an out-and-out lie. They had a Gestalt robot from Transformers that was half the Stunticons and half the Technobots, which I really wanted to pick up as well. And the packaging showed them all transforming into the robots, but when you looked at the toy, you could tell there was no seams or breaks in the plastic for it to transform. It was a solid car. So I didn't pick that one up because I do not think that one actually transformed. But this one looked like a lot of fun. And even if it can't transform all that much, I still think it's cool to have a little version of Vehicle Voltron, which I'm going to put next to my Super Mini Pla Go Lion Voltron here in the States once I build that. So I think it would be cool to have them next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead, get this guy out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So here he is out of the packaging, and I have to say he actually looks pretty cool. He's got these pieces that hang off the back, but I don't know if the original toy had that as well or not. I never had the original Vehicle Voltron toy. But he's got these cool cars for feet, so he's got roller skates. He's actually got a decent amount of articulation for a knockoff toy. The head can spin from side to side. You have movement here in the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel as well as 90 degrees pretty much in the knee. These rotators get in the way, and I just said knee, but I meant elbow. Obviously this is his elbow. You don't really have any kind of articulation in the torso or anything like that, or the leg, but you do have kind of a slight knee bend. It's not huge, but you do have a little bit. And then you can move the cars from side to side if you would like, just because of the way they connect. Everything else has kind of a square peg, so you can't really do much with it. So you're looking at basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side, which is not terrible. He's got a really cool sword. I like this sword quite a bit. Nice and chromed out. I like this quite a bit. And it just slides very easily into his hand, which is very cool. So yeah, I like him. I mean, for a $6 knockoff toy, I think he's pretty great. The other thing that's pretty awesome is you can separate it into these smaller vehicles. I'm going to go ahead and take the sword out of his hand. Now, you can't break it down all the way, but you can do most of it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the two cars first, because they come off the easiest. And it's kind of funny how they have this thread here on this peg, but you don't actually screw them in. It's just weird. Then you unconnect these right here, and then you're going to take this piece that was hanging off the back, and that flips up as a nose cone. Now for some reason this one doesn't stay very well, but this one connects very nicely. And then you have that knee articulation still in effect. So you have these two kind of rocket tank vehicles. I'm not quite sure what's going on with these. And I don't know why this one won't stay in place. I think it has to do with these black tabs, which is what's trying to keep it in place, but I don't know, it seems like it's just not getting enough clearance. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so you have this kind of rocket tank with a drooping nose cone, unfortunately. But you actually have a pretty decent amount of different colored plastic inlaid, and that gives it a lot of nice details. Obviously, these wheels are not real, so they don't roll or anything. So coming back to the torso of the robot, you can take off both of the arms. The blue one sticks a little bit. The red one comes out a little bit easier. Now on the packaging, it shows that this piece from the arm down is supposed to come off and be its own piece, but that doesn't happen here. If you want, you can rotate that so at least the wheels kind of line up, and then you just have this weirdly long helicopter piece. But again, it has a painted cockpit, a little bit of paint up here. These can lift up and press down. I don't really know what that gets you, but if you want it to spin, it has to be down. If you pull it up, it doesn't spin. I mean, it can spin, but not as well. It seems to spin better when you have it down. And there's some nice red paint down here. It would have been nice. I think this is supposed to come off and be like its own little tank vehicle. And technically, you could unscrew it if you want. You can see there's a screw there in the elbow. So you could if you wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it together like this. Same for this one. This one has some nice paint though. You have the blue, the red, the white. That's all painted on there. There's no stickers. This is all painted. Same thing with the spinning propeller. So now, coming back to the torso. The chest piece comes off, and that is a separate ship. And again, decent paint on there. Some nice chrome bits in the back. I like this one a lot. I like this little ship. I think that's a really cool design. So now we have the main torso. So this piece comes off. Actually, both of these pieces come off. This one's very tight, though. So I'm not really quite sure what this is supposed to be, especially with the big pieces sticking out the side. And you can see they're not even really even, which is kind of funny. So I don't know what that's about. But it's a vehicle of some kind. It's got some decent paint applications, a little piece of chrome there. Is that on a hinge? Does that open up? It does open up. But for what purpose? I don't know. Like a pretend cockpit, I guess? It's kind of cool. Then you have this piece, which looks maybe like it's trying to be an underwater vehicle of some kind. At least this has the nub on both sides, so it's kind of symmetrical. So I could buy this as kind of like a little underwater apparatus vehicle, something like that. It's kind of cool. Again, you have some nice white plastic inlaid here with some red paint. Fake wheels on the bottom. That brings us to the head and the main torso piece. Now, if you're familiar with the original vehicle Voltron at all, there were little windows here that would close over top of the face. So see where these two white pieces of paint are? They were little panels that you would slide over top to cover the face. And this piece would come off and be its own thing. Unfortunately, and this is the biggest disappointment of the set for me, the head does not come off. I even unscrewed the whole apparatus here to check it out, and it's like a peg with a long peg like this at the end, and then it rotates like inside, but because of this peg on the bottom, you can't pull it out. You could unscrew it and take it out if you wanted to, but you'd have to do that every time, and I'm not going to do that. But it does have some nice paint here. You have some red plastic inlaid in here. You have some nice chrome on the front. It's just really a shame because you can tell this has little tank treads. This is supposed to be a standalone vehicle, and then this is supposed to be a vehicle, but they're connected. So what I kind of just do is just turn it upside down so at least the head's hidden, and then I guess pretend this is some kind of giant ship of some kind. I wish you can almost kind of turn this, but for some reason it doesn't want to keep going. I don't know what it's catching on. But if you could at least turn that so the tank treads were lined up, then I would feel like, okay, you could pretend this is some kind of vehicle, but unfortunately, that's the biggest disappointment of the set for me. And it would have been very easy to just have it be a straight peg. Instead of having the piece on the bottom, which is what locks it in place so you can't pull it out, could have just been a straight peg. Peg in, pull the peg out. Would have been simple. This is the one time where they tried too hard with a knockoff toy and it bit them in the butt. Because a regular just peg and pop the peg in, pull the peg out, would have been perfect. That's all you would have needed. But I mean, if you take a look at the head sculpt, it's fairly decent. It's painted nicely. The eyes, the face looks pretty good. All of the white paint and the red plastic piece on top looks good. So I think they did a decent job designing like the look and the paint applications, but it's just kind of a bummer that you can't pop the head off. But you can, I mean, form, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 individual vehicles, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think the real vehicle Voltron probably had, what, 1, 2, 3 more, so maybe like 13, 15, something like that. They may have even had more. Some of these might have come apart. I'm not really, like I said, these might be 2 different ones as well in the original toy. I think these might have come out, but again, I don't know for sure. But I still think it's pretty cool. I mean, for a $6 knockoff toy, to be able to take them apart into this many tiny little vehicles. Oh, I didn't even really take a look at the little cars. I love these. They're very simplistic, but I think they're great. Again, little paint applications are nice. The wheels are huge. They roll very well. I think this is my favorite one. I just love the colors here. The black and the gold and the orange tinted windows there. So I think these are really cool. I mean, I definitely recommend this. For a $6 knockoff toy, I feel like you can't really go wrong. The only thing I wish, if they had just made the head a normal peg instead of having it be a piece that's, you know, screwed in and assembled in, I think it would have worked out much better. I guess it's really the same amount of clearance. I don't know why the pegs are different sizes. It's kind of weird. But it's still fun to take apart and put back together. And there's a decent amount of pieces to take it apart into, which is really fun. I'm going to zoom out here. Oops. He's losing his balance on me. I'm glad this piece comes off. And I'm glad it goes back on because it's a really cool chest plate. So let me move the camera back up. And I really love the sword. I think they did a great job with the sword. So yeah, he's definitely not perfect by any means, but he was a $6 knockoff toy. I think there's definitely fun to be had here, just as a little display piece. Like I said, I'm very interested to see how he'll look next to the Super Mini Pla Voltron that I bought. Once I eventually get that put together, he should be about the same height. I mean, most Super Mini Pla robots are about the same height. Here is Ninja Megazord. I always forget what he's called in Japan. Hold on. I can read it off the box. Kakure Dai Shogun. That's what he's called. But you can see, I mean, he's going to be a little bit taller. I would say, even with the kind of wings that Voltron has, Voltron will probably come up to about here. So he'll be a little bit taller, but should be pretty close. So if they ever make a Super Mini Pla of this guy, I will absolutely pick it up, because I definitely think it's a very cool robot. And I would love to be able to have nice Super Mini Pla detailed versions of this guy and Voltron on the shelf together. But in the meantime, this little $6 knockoff will do. Definitely recommend it if you can find it at a Tuesday morning or some other kind of like Five Below type store for, you know, $5 to $6. I think there's fun to be had here. I like it a lot. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.